What up, guys? Your boy Quake back with a brand new episode of the Diverse Mentality Podcast, number 297. And if you are in America, happy 4th of July if you're listening to this on July 4th. If you're listening to another day, stop sleeping on me. Listen to the episodes when they come out immediately. All right? Not playing no damn games. We out here. Anyways, once again, always powered by the one and only Golden Eagle Energy Drink. Get your Golden Eagle Energy Drinks at drinkgoldeneagle.com/DMP. That's drinkgoldeneagle.com/DMP. They sponsored all season 4 of the podcast, so show them love for showing us love. Well, we got some little preview images of Kendrick Lamar's Not Like Us music video, so I'm assuming, I wouldn't be surprised if within the next couple of days the music video comes out. I know Eminem released that Tobey song, the music video for that's coming out this Friday. And then he announced his album, and we'll talk about that a little bit later. But the music video screenshots are really interesting. I kind of just wanted to talk about it just for a little bit. One of the images is Kendrick Lamar hitting a piñata that looks like an owl. And then at the bottom it says, like, no, don't worry, no OVO hoes were harmed during the making of this video, which is hilarious. And then another screenshot is him with the whole TDE camp, J-Rock, Absol, everybody, Schoolboy Q, so on and so forth. And then another screenshot is him with his family, with Whitney and his 2 kids, which is interesting because that, obviously with Drake, what he said in the whole battle is that, him and Whitney aren't close and this and that, and, the kid's not his and all this stuff, right? Even though Whitney, showed up to the Ken and Friends show, based off the screenshot, Whitney's not smiling. Like, none of the kids are smiling, just looking at the camera. And I'm sure people are already going to be like, oh, she doesn't look happy. She looks like she's getting abused. Like, all kinds of stuff people are going to be saying. Regardless, people are going to be satisfied no matter what. I think the people that are on Drake's side or Kendrick's side, they're going to stay on those sides no matter what. I 100%, and I don't care who believes this or not, I was going into this on nobody's side. I like Drake's music. I like Kendrick's music. Now, in the videos that I was releasing as time went on, people were like, oh, you're dick riding Drake or you're dick riding Kendrick. Like, it's hilarious because if I was, supportive of this track, let's just say from Drake, Push-Ups, let's just say that, right? I was supporting that. Oh, you're dick riding Drake. If I was supportive of Kendrick's Euphoria, oh, you're dick riding, so like people were just, I went into this battle just wanting, first off, I've always wanted this battle. I've wanted it since 2017. You can go look at the Nas versus Jay-Z video. I mentioned it in there because in my mind, I always thought this battle would happen at a certain point. I just was hoping it wasn't too late, and luckily, I don't feel it's too late. I think it happened at the perfect time. So I went into this, with an open mind. Never really took a side. I enjoyed both sides, at certain points, but I feel like overall, Kendrick won. Maybe not by a huge shot, but I think he did win. I know he, at least to me, he won. And I want to break that down, in the podcast, like I mentioned a little bit later. I'm trying to see what happens after Kendrick releases this Not Like Us video. If Drake decides to kind of go another run at it, if he doesn't and just kind of brushes it off, then I'll, do a proper kind of analysis of the battle. And I'm working on a Drake versus Kendrick Lamar, Who Really Won. Yes, I know the Who Really Won series itself has been gone for a while, even though I do What Really Happens. What really happened, if you don't know the difference between those series, the What Really Happened was mainly meant for battles that are going on currently that haven't finished, or battles that weren't really that serious, like Eminem versus Michael Jackson. That wasn't anything like a real diss track, just disagreement pretty much as time went on, stuff like that. So basically new battles that are going on and disagreements between artists. The Who Really Won are the ones that, like, the battles have completed. We're done. Like, there's really nothing you can expect. Maybe subliminals here and there if it happens with today's generation of artists, because that's always going to happen. But for the most part, every time I've done a Who Really Won, the battle's been over and nothing has really sparked back up for the most part. I know with the Drake and Pusha, things here and there were sent, blah, blah, blah. But, that I kind of expected that in the newer generation. We get, like, these subliminal things regardless of the battle being officially over. We're still going to get subliminals with Drake versus Kendrick. Kendrick's still going to send subliminal shots. I think Kendrick said it himself. If he keeps hearing subliminals, he'll go back directly at him again, which I don't know if Drake's going to entertain anymore because, you got a hit record out. Kendrick's got a hit record out there calling him a, pedophile. Like, come on, man. It's really gotten to, at that level, it's like, I personally, if that was happening to me, I would know that I'm not that. So to me, it wouldn't bother me. But going out in public with a song that's like number one, basically calling you a pedophile, is very awkward. It would be. Let's just say that, because it's like a weird. I'm sure Drake has felt weird energy when he's gone out, because he went to Houston, I think, at some show, and he just kind of seemed a little weird. Like people are looking at him a little bit different. So, if the heart of hearts, if he feels he's not that, then obviously it's not gonna bother him. If something isn't you, and it's not you, then it shouldn't bother you, right? So at least that's how I am. If I know it's not me, even if people are joking about it or whatever, then it is what it is. I just kind of keep it moving. It's not that serious. Let's get into the news. Young Thug's YSL Rico trial has been delayed. So let's go over the article. Young Thug's YSL Rico trial has been delayed indefinitely following an ongoing controversy with Judge Uriel Glanville. The trial has come to a halt until it is decided whether the controversial judge acted inappropriately in having a secret meeting with a witness and prosecutors. Glanville agreed that the trial will not proceed until another judge decides whether he should rescue himself from the trial over alleged misconduct. The Fulton County judge got into a heated argument with Thug's attorney, Brian Steele, over the meeting with witness Kenneth Copeland, arguing that it was unconstitutional. Glanville has now agreed to make the transcripts from his meeting with the witness and prosecutors public. Steele recently filed a motion to dismiss Glanville from the trial, claiming he had an unlawful, improper ex-parte meeting with Copeland, who had previously been granted immunity by the prosecution in exchange for his testimony. Steele claims that he and Thug received no notice of the meeting and that it violated the rapper's constitutional and statutory rights, including the right to due process, a fair trial, a fair tribunal, ethical prosecutors, and the right to be present at every critical stage of the proceedings under the Georgia Constitution. In the motion to dismiss Judge Granville from the trial, Steele accuses him of being biased towards the prosecution. Yeah, so that secret meeting, obviously, that's weird, man. Shout out to Thug's lawyer, man, for standing up for Thug, as he should, because he's probably getting paid millions of dollars. That is weird. I would not proceed with the trial if I knew a judge was having secret side meetings with the people prosecuting me. That's just unfair. Everything has to be put out on the table. Everybody has to know what's going on. So it's unfortunate, because this thing is just going to get, hopefully it doesn't get retried, because, who knows? If the judge doesn't pick up or something goes on, there's some, phony things going on, it could just get dropped as a trial, and then they have to redo the thing, just like the YNW Melly. Even though YNW Melly was a mistrial, because of the jurors, couldn't agree on whether he was guilty or not. That's kind of a different situation, but still, here I'm pretty sure they could have a mistrial and then restart it all over again, which would take another 2 to 3, 5, 10 years, because the U.S. system is just so slow and stupid. It makes no sense to me. Honestly, it makes no sense. Even when you're rich, it takes 90 million years to get through a process. Like YNW Melly, whether he did it or not, and I've said this a million times on the podcast, he should not be rotting away in prison. Whether he did it or not, he should at least be free for this moment, because he's been locked up since 2019. Like, we're about to go in 2020. Well, not, I'm tripping. We're halfway through 2024, but by the time he starts his trial, he's going to be in 2025. He's been locked up, for 6 years then? That's ridiculous, with no trial, nothing about knowing about his future. So that just doesn't make any sense. So, yeah, we'll keep our eyes posted, and we'll see what happens moving forward. Updates to BG and whether he has to submit his lyrics to the probation officer. And I remember talking about this, a couple episodes ago. I don't know how long ago, probably 2, 3, 4 weeks ago, a month, maybe something like that. And he had to go through an issue where he had to submit his lyrics to get approved so that he could release the song, which is one of the most ridiculous probation requests I've ever heard. And I think that's a violation, in just art form and just music and art. It's unfortunate, though. Right now, there's an update, and it turns out that he has to do that because his lawyer is fighting it, and they're saying it doesn't make any sense. It's unlawful, this and that. Let's go over the article. BG's probation officer will now be reviewing all of the rapper's songs' lyrics before they're recorded as part of his supervised release. That is insane. I am pissed off for him. The former Hot Boys rapper was released from prison late last year following a conviction in 2012 for a firearms possession and obstruction of justice. In March, the U.S. government accused him of glorifying a life of crime in the songs he has released since getting out. which they felt was a violation of his probation terms. They also said recording songs with convicted felons Boosie and Gucci Mane was a violation. Now, in a new filing obtained by Hip Hop DX on Tuesday, July 2nd, the court ruled that he did not violate his probation with any of the aforementioned actions, but he now must get written approval from his probation officer before working with convicted felons. United States District Judge Susie Morgan called the government's attempt to censor BG's lyrics unconstitutional. I agree. But she did grant the government the right to look at his lyrics in advance. The judge said that if the state had any objections, prosecutors could attempt legal action. To address the legitimate concerns expressed by the government, the court will impose a special condition that the defendant provide the United States Probation Office with a copy of lyrics of any song he writes in advance of his production or promotion of such song, and that those lyrics be shared with the government, the court doc reads. At that time, the government may, if it deems necessary and appropriate, file another motion for leave to file a rule to show cause why the defendant's conditions of supervised release should not be modified because the defendant's conduct is inconsistent with the goals of rehabilitation. Bullshit, man. This rehabilitation shit is so bullshit. They don't rehabilitate nobody. When you're locked up in prison, that's where the rehabilitation is supposed to happen. You're not supposed to be locked up in a cage and basically nothing going on. Barely any programs to help you, nothing. Continuing on in a statement about the ruling, BG's attorney, David, told XXL, Mr. Dorsey BG is pleased that the Honorable Court found that he did not violate the terms of his supervision and would not restrict his artistic work by ordering his lyrics to be controlled by the government. He intends on resuming his career consistent with the court order, the attorney said in a statement. Despite his legal issues, once again, basically talks about his tour and stuff like that. But, I mean, it's not too bad. I guess they kind of compromised. But still, I don't think this should have ever been an issue that should have been brought up. Even if he's working with convicted felons, it's not like Boosie and Gucci are, they're multimillionaires right now making music and doing their thing. I mean, Boosie gets $500,000 a year just for doing Vlad TV interviews. So it's like, they left those days, I would hope, long far behind them. I know Gucci has. I don't know about Boosie, but I'm assuming Boosie has as well, because at this point, if you're still messing around with dumb shit and you're in your 40s and shit, then you're just not doing life right, and you deserve to get locked up for the rest of your life, because at that point, you're just acting stupid. But we'll keep our eye on this, man, see if anything new happens. I'm sure something's going to happen with the probation officer, and it's going to cause an uproar, and so we'll see. Another episode of the podcast and another Diddy lawsuit, except this is by a former, adult video entertainer. Let's just say that. Let's go over the article. Diddy hired a former adult entertainer to have sex with people at some of his legendary parties and threatened to blackball her and her model boyfriend if she didn't comply, according to a new lawsuit she's filed. Adria English, who says her adult stage name was Ominique, says she first met Diddy around 2004 when her boyfriend was auditioning for Sean Combs' Sean John modeling gig. In the docs obtained by TMZ, Adria claims that things got freaky with Diddy right out the gate. Adria claims her boyfriend and another model were asked to perform oral on Diddy in order to get the job. She says her boyfriend refused, but he got a second chance when another Diddy associate offered him the job, as long as he got Adria to work as a go-go dancer at Diddy's upcoming white party in the Hamptons. She and the boyfriend agreed, and she indeed worked the party over Labor Day weekend. And there's a photo of her there. The lawsuit includes pics of her there and says she subsequently worked other Diddy parties where she regularly had to drink alcohol laced with narcotics like ecstasy and was encouraged to flirt with guests. Although she did not have sex with the guests initially, she claims Diddy groomed her into sex trafficking over time. Adria claims that things ratcheted up when Diddy demanded she have sex with Jacob Abrov, famously known as Jacob the Jeweler in hip-hop. According to the suit filed by attorneys Ariel Mitchell-Kidd, she had forced sexual intercourse with him and then was paid an additional $1,000 on top of what she usually got for working for Diddy's parties. Damn. She got photos of her with him, too, Jacob the Jeweler. She took a photo with Jacob after the alleged assault while still at the party and claimed Diddy himself personally congratulated her for having sex with Jacob as directed and told her job well done. Jacob is listed as a defendant in the suit. Adria claims things got worse after that because she was being passed off to other people at Diddy's parties, and they too sexually assaulted her. She's also suing a woman named Tamiko Thomas, who accuses her of facilitating Diddy's sex trafficking operation. In fact, Adria says Tamiko is the Jelly Maxwell to Diddy's Jeffrey Epstein. Wow. She also claims Diddy promised to advance her career, even helping her join our girl group to enter the music business, but backed it up with forceful demands and threats to blackball her and her boyfriend from the industry if they didn't comply. She says she eventually did escape and returned to see California in 2009 and believes Diddy blackballed her and her boyfriend as punishment. We've reached out to reps for Diddy and Jacob the Jeweler, no word back yet. Adria claims she has suffered emotional trauma, including intimacy issues and painful memories as a result of the alleged sex trafficking. She's suing Diddy, Bad Boy, Tamiko Thomas, Jacob the Jeweler, and others seeking unspecified damages. My question off the bat on this is, did Jacob know, which I wouldn't be surprised if he did, but I'm just wondering, did Jacob know that Diddy sent her? Like, did he know that Diddy paid her money to go to Jacob to have sex with her? Or did Jacob just think she liked him and just wanted to do something with him? Because there's a difference there. If Jacob had no idea and he's just at a Diddy party and she comes up to him and flirts and blah, 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 and they do something together, how are you supposed to know that it has anything to do with sex trafficking? But, I mean, when you're going to these parties and everybody's drinking, doing stuff, that's not the best time to be doing things where people aren't fully aware of what's going on. That's basically rape at the end of the day, because if you're not aware of what's going on, you're drunk, then you can't really consent properly to anything. So, so I don't know. Did Jacob know that? But who knows? That's going to be interesting. TMZ did update. Diddy's attorney responded to the allegation. Diddy's attorney, Jonathan Davis, tells TMZ, no matter how many lawsuits are filed, it won't change the fact that Mr. Combs has never sexually assaulted or sexually trafficked anyone. We live in a world where anyone can file a lawsuit for any reason without any proof. Fortunately, a fair and impartial judgment process exists to find the truth, and Mr. Combs is confident he will prevail against these and other baseless claims in court. Tick tock. We'll see. But no surprise here, another Diddy lawsuit. So where there's smoke, there has to be fire, man. There's no way all these people are just filing lawsuits just to file lawsuits. Even if it's just one person out of these 20 lawsuits, it's over, regardless. One person. And Cassie, there's already footage of him beating Cassie. So all we need is just one, which are, to me, already Diddy putting hands on somebody is enough for me to be like, he's a piece of shit. I don't care. I never want to support him. I never supported him anyways when he was really popping like that. Never really fucked with his music like that. Yeah, he was on a couple records that were cool, and I was like, okay, cool. But I was never really like a huge Diddy listener for music anyways. But regardless, him putting his hands on Cassie was enough for me to be like, fuck this guy. I never want to, at that point, there's no back and forth. There's video footage clear as day. He put his hands on Cassie. So everything else, this is just like more to add to, him being a garbage person. So we'll keep our eyes posted and see what happens. Kanye West has been hit with another lawsuit, and this one is kind of crazy, man. So let's go over the article. Kanye West and his wife, Bianca Censori, are facing shocking accusations of racism and exposing minors to, adult content in a new lawsuit. According to the Washington Post, Ye is being sued by 8 former Yeezy employees who worked with the Yeezy season, or Yeezy VSN, I don't know what that is, a streaming service designed to host his upcoming Vultures 2 album with Ty Dolla $ign. The suit claims that the rap legend, his former chief of staff, Milo, I don't know how to pronounce that last name, Yiannopoulos, and his Yeezy company cultivated a racist environment with brutal working conditions and failed to pay several members of staff despite promising to do so. The former employees claim that they were also subjected to racist, sexist, and homophobic treatment while communicating remotely on platforms like Discord, including being referred to as slaves and new slaves, the latter being the name of Kanye's Yeezus song. The complaint also says that the racial slurs were made against black team members, and only white team members were promised developer positions at Yeezy. The plaintiffs, some of whom are minors as young as 14, also claimed they were exposed to adult content by Bianca, who allegedly sent one employee a file-sharing link containing hardcore sexual activity. But yeah, insane. Then Bianca responded to the claims. Kanye West and his wife, Bianca, were accused of a lawsuit. On Tuesday, West's former chief of staff, shared a statement with Hip Hop DX in which he shut down the many allegations. I've been authorized by Bianca to stress that any allegation that she showed or caused to be shown any adult content material to minors is offensive, disgusting, abhorrent, and categorically and wholly false, he wrote. The tragic, desperate, attention-seeking wannabe Yeezy staffer behind this egregious and repulsive pack of lies, Shimar DaCosta, has never had any kind of access to Ye, his family, or Yeezy, or any information pertinent to the company, and he never will. Damn. DaCosta, known as Hotep Suzanne in Yeezy circles for his histrionic and absurd race-baiting, faked an entire job history at Yeezy on his LinkedIn profile, the most tragic and thirsty lie imaginable. He claimed to be a lead developer for Yeezy. He has never worked at Yeezy. Read my lips. He will never, ever, ever land a job at the company after telling such odious lies of the lady of the house. He continued, there's a simple reason DaCosta's clownish claim that minors were shown adult content isn't true and can't be true. I made sure of that by falling on my sword and quitting over it. So I guess Yeezy, P word, doesn't exist, he said. So he said, I made sure of that because he would quit if it did, the person saying. All I've done since is try to get these app developers paid, as voluminous correspondence demonstrates. Anyone asserting otherwise, including many in the press, are lazy or simply dishonest buffoons, uncritically repeating Medeanus lies from a lawsuit that takes more imaginative leaps than the Lord of the Rings. Secret white chat rooms? No, the other team just hustled harder than you did. Hostile work environment? How can that be? You were never hired. Minors working illegally? Give me a break. The only minors being taken advantage of are the poor suckers roped into this lawsuit, who have no idea what a pack of lies their names have been attached to. If anyone's taken advantage of kids, it's Shimar DaCosta and his bozo Instagram lawyer, Ben Lockyer, whose area of legal expertise appears to be credulous African Americans with dubious causes of action. Both of them should be ashamed of themselves, and if they're not now, they soon will be. To emphasize his take on the suit, Yiannopoulos shared these tweets by people who worked at West Company agreeing with his statement. All I've done since leaving Kanye is try to get these app developers paid. They can be viewed below. Yeah, insane, man. Insane. So that's a pretty firm denial of the accusations. So, yeah, we'll see where it goes from here. Lil Mama, if you don't know who she is, you might remember she was the girl that went up when Jay-Z and Alicia Keys were performing the Empire State of Mind track. She appeared on stage as the third person, and she had nothing to do with the song. So you might remember her from that. You might remember her from the time Charlemagne basically trolled her to the point where she started crying on the show, which was horrible on Charlemagne's part. Or you might know her as an artist who dropped the song My Lip Gloss is Cool, My Lip Gloss Be Poppin'. That record, Lip Gloss, in 2007. So at least that's the three big moments, at least in her career, unfortunately. I think she had some dope bars and lyrics here and there sometimes, but just never really blew up. Like the Lip Gloss record was the moment that she had, and then after that, it just kind of went bad, especially with showing up on stage randomly with the Alicia Keys and Jay-Z thing. But she's criticizing Nicki Minaj. So why is she doing that? Let's get into it. Nicki Minaj has been criticized by Lil Mama for influencing a generation of musical prostitutes. Not musical chairs. We're talking about musical prostitutes. The lip gloss, this is crazy. They call her a lip gloss artist. It's a 2007 song. Shared her thoughts beneath an Instagram post that always outspoken D1 shared on Monday, July 1st. All right, so D1, who's an artist, basically released a song critiquing, or I believe this is an older song, but it fits with this BET Awards. So basically, the BET Awards happened, and I don't watch any award show, not the Grammys, not the BET Awards, not the MTV Awards. I felt like they've gone to shit, like probably, I don't know, after like 2014, maybe that's when I stopped really watching and giving really two fucks about who wins. But the BET Awards right now, based off what D1, I haven't watched it, so I can't judge the whole show. But based off of what D1 posted, is a bunch of women, female rappers, shaking their ass. Besides Glorilla. Shout out to her song, what's the song called? Yeah, Glow, stomp a little with some shell toes. Yeah, Glow. She's not really doing any of that. So I'm somewhat of a fan of Glorilla. I think her music has been pretty great. And she's a little bit more, I don't know how to explain it. Like, she has feminine bars in there, but it's still like aggressive, like, in a way, which I don't really want, a female to be aggressive on music either. I think when females talk about guns and bullshit, it's weird, man. You're not in your feminine energy. You're acting like a man. It's like, but I think there's a balance in that, and I think Glorilla does a great balance in that. But, it's showing Megan Thee Stallion, showing Ice Spice, it's showing Lotto, it's showing who else? Glorilla showed, but basically the female artists right now, Lotto, Megan Thee Stallion, Sexy Red. There you go. I just forgot about her. Let me see. Sexy Red's on here. Okay, let me get this right. Get this perfectly right. I'm watching the video right now. Lotto, and she's smacking her ass, shaking her ass. That's what she's doing. Sexy Red's shaking her ass too, twerking. Ice Spice, that's what I forgot. Ice Spice, shaking her ass, smacking her ass. Same thing. And then Megan Thee Stallion. I don't know if she did that, though. In this clip, it doesn't look like Megan Thee Stallion did that, but she is showing a lot of skin, literally, like, basically in a bikini. Basically in a thong, almost, which is insane. Glorilla is wearing actual, like, pants based off of the clip that is here. I don't know if she took those pants off and actually started shaking her ass, too. Who knows? But based off the clip, it looks like Glorilla was didn't do any of that. But, yeah, anyways, I do agree. And then Lil Mama, after like D1 posted this, Lil Mama said they gave Nicki an award for leading the pack. Cooperate, bars be going over your head. They're laughing at us for sure. So in D1 in this song, he's saying basically saying the culture's turned into a shit show. And I agree at certain points, man. I think the female stuff has just been too sexualized. It's been insane. And the male stuff, I've even criticized males for just talking too much about getting pussy and getting their dick sucked and all this stuff. It's getting super annoying. The Baby would rap about it a lot. Lil Wayne at certain points later on in his career would just rap about it a lot. I don't care about any of that. Like, I just don't want to hear that over and over and over again. Okay, you have a project that comes out with 18 tracks. You have a song or two that mentions that type of stuff. Cool. But get creative, man. Do something different. Talk about something different. Especially like Lil Wayne. These like artists that have been in the game for so long. I know they've been in the game for a really long time, so it's kind of hard to come up with something to talk about. But they can mature. They can talk about where they're at currently in their lives. Like, as much as people like to criticize Jay-Z for the 444 album, at least he talked about where he was at in his current life. Buying paintings, investing, all that stuff. Yeah, it might not be the most, flashy stuff, which it kind of, it is. If you can spend $1 million on a painting, that's stunting right there. But it just doesn't sound as cool, quote unquote, to the youth as, I got a band, I'm fucking his bitch, blah, 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 like that type of shit. So I agree with the female stuff. It's just gotten out of control. But yeah, she's criticizing Nicki Minaj for leading that. And I don't know if Nicki Minaj should get the full blame for this. Because Nicki could rap too. Yeah, she had sex appeal, which most females, they're going to have sex appeal. That's just the reality of the situation. But Nicki could rap too. I think it started getting out of hand with Cardi B. I don't want to put the blame fully on her because I think Nicki Minaj takes some of the blame. But when Cardi B came in the game and they found out that, hey, a former stripper, could go on a reality TV show and then make an album and blow the fuck up, it kind of changed the game at that point. It made just any female be able to make it. If you're a stripper, blah, blah, blah. There's nothing wrong with a stripper, but, coming into music and blowing up and selling millions and millions of records and having diamond records, it's like, it's out of this world. So people are going to look at that and be like, if she can do it, well, me shaking my ass and doing this and that, I can do it too. So I think that's kind of, you can put a little bit of blame on Nicki, but you also can put the blame on Cardi. I think those two were like the ones that were leading the pack in this type of thing. I do wish Young M.A., as a female that she is a rapper, I wish she would have made it more because she got bars, like she's got records that I'm just like, whoa, she can rap her ass off. We need more females like that are more focused on like kind of the art form of hip hop versus just shaking your ass and hoping that, you'll sell records doing that. That's why a lot of these artists are actually struggling. A lot of these female artists, the shaking ass thing ain't working. Ice Spice is struggling to sell. Sexy Red, they just announced her tour sales. She's sold out so far 37% of her tour. That's it. 37%. That is not even halfway of what your tour is. So this ass shaking thing, you know, it might get guys' attention, you know, and it might sound cool and flashy, but it really hasn't translated to much for most female artists. Now, I'm not saying all of them. Megan Thee Stallion's doing well. She's done her tour. She's doing well. You know, of course, Cardi B, you got Nicki Minaj. But a lot of these newer ones, they're kind of struggling to find their way. So I don't think a lot of these newer female artists are going to last anyways. I think, you know, just because, like, Ice Spice, like, to me, she's got no talent at all. Like, all she does is shake her ass. I find no interest in her music. Her shaking her ass, I've seen 90 million women shake their ass. It's not, like, you're not bringing anything new to the table. I don't expect you to be this new innovative artist that's completely changed the game, but, you know, do something different, man. It's getting, yeah, I agree with D1. I agree with Lil Mama. For Lil Mama, most of the part I agree with. I don't think Nicki Minaj should get the full blame for that, but yeah, we'll see. We'll keep our eyes posted and see if Nicki Minaj decides to respond, or, you know, if anybody else has anything else to say. Before we continue, I want to give a shout out to Golden Eagle for sponsoring this podcast. Yes, if it wasn't for Golden Eagle, this podcast wouldn't be possible. If you're looking for an energy drink that doesn't tear a hole in your pocket, Golden Eagle energy drink is the one you want to get. Golden Eagle has the smoothest taste with no aftertaste. You don't get acid reflux when you drink it, and you will save a lot of money. So check out Golden Eagle at drinkgoldeneagle.com/DMP. The link is in the description below. And how do you think this podcast would be possible without me having energy to do it? Come on, guys. You guys got to remember this. I need energy to do this stuff, man, because there's a lot of crazy topics. So look how smooth this thing sounds. Look at it. Oh my God, it's fresh. Look at that Golden Eagle. Look at the can. It's so beautiful too, man. Look at that. That's so fresh, man. So fresh. Golden Eagle energy drink. Go to the link description below. That's drinkgoldeneagle.com/DMP. Let's continue the episode. This is beef. Things happen where people get physical, and William Roberts, a.k.a. Rick Ross, got some hands put on him when he was performing at Vancouver show in Canada. Rick Ross was performing at the Ignite Music Festival in Vancouver on Sunday, June 30th, when he decided to play Kendrick Lamar's Not Like Us diss track. And things went left immediately after he did that. After Rick Ross got done performing, the Not Like Us track was playing in the background, and as he was exiting the stage, some people decided to confront him for playing that track in Canada. You know, obviously Drake's from Canada, and you know it's disrespectful to play a diss track towards an artist that's from, you know, the area. So he leaves, and people assumed initially that it was people from Drake's team, OVO team, that actually put hands on Rick Ross and his surrounding friends, but it turns out to be just some fans that decided, hey, you know what, we're not going to take any disrespect. And you know what's funny? Like, days before, Tony Ayo appeared on Vlad TV and literally said that, you know, watch out for fans, because they're the ones that are going to put hands on you most of the time if you're disrespecting their artist and their city. And that's exactly what happened. It's like Tony Ayo foresaw everything that's going to happen. But check out the video clips of what happened. With that video footage, people are speculating that the person who started the fight is from the gang Hell's Angels, which is obviously a huge motorcycle gang in Canada, but they're also big in actual Oakland, California as well. So, you know, with Kendrick Lamar and Drake, they potentially both could have ties to that in one way or another. But regardless, that's the speculation out there. That's why people threw out the speculation that, you know, hey, it's possibly Drake's team, OVO team, so on and so forth. Well, Rick Ross, after this went viral, Rick Ross decided to respond to everything and basically brushed it off and laughed it off. On Instagram, he didn't put any captions, but he posted a photo of him getting off his private jet. And people are clowning him in the comments saying, dang, you got punched and ran. And then on his stories, he posted himself drinking Bel Air with just laughing at the situation. And then he posted another photo of him getting off his jet, and he said, Vancouver, it was fun till next time. Basically acting like nothing happened in the situation, brushing it off. And that's the only thing you can do online if something like this happens to you. Just brush it off or just ignore the situation because people are going to clown you regardless. And that's exactly what Drake and 50 Cent decided to do. Obviously, 50 hates Ross's guts because of their beef. He's never liked him. And then Drake now has a new beef with him, so they're both going to clown him. Even Rick Ross's baby mama decided to clown him, and she hates him as well. So let's go over what Drake did. It was more subliminal because Drake, that's just how Drake moves. He doesn't like to get direct unless it's like he's in an actual battle with Kendrick and at the time when he was battling with everybody. But this is what Drake decided to do.
Yeah, I'm rapping today. Happy Canada Day to everybody. Cheers, man.
You know, with Rick, see, this is what I mean. Drake does subliminals trolling. That's just what he likes to do. And of course, him laughing at the situation, then saying Happy Canada Day after Rick Ross got punched in Canada. Just more subliminal disses and shots towards him. And on his Instagram photo, Rick Ross's ex, baby mama Tia, you won't believe what Tia told me. You know, 50, who was beefing with her and took her out shopping and stuff. She commented under Drake's Instagram photo that he posted and said, Drake with, a heart, not star eye, sorry, emojis. And then Drake responded to her and said, my goat. So that's just like right there. There you go. There's the trolling. There's the fun and games. 50 Cent obviously took it to a whole different level. And 50 usually, he'll just post on Instagram, captions and photos and stuff. But he actually recorded a video, which he hadn't done in a while. He used to record videos clowning people, but now he just got into like more posting just photos of instances and then commenting on them with the captions. And that's what he started doing. And then he dropped a video reacting to the situation. So he first posted a video of the Rick Ross incident. And in the caption, he said, laugh my ass off, the great escape. Mika, call the chasers. They are chasing me, LOL. So now he's making fun of Meek Mill as well, which I don't know if you guys know, but Meek Mill's real name and Rick Ross's real name are flipped. So Rick Ross's real name is William Roberts, and Meek Mill's real name is Robert Williams, which is hilarious. And then he posted another video of the fight from a different angle. In the caption, he said, my guess is you won't be going back to Canada acting like it ain't what it is, LOL. And then he tagged Rick Ross's baby mama, Tia, who in the video that 50 posted responded to the actual fight, making fun of him. And then here's the video that 50 Cent posted reacting to the situation.
You know, I just saw a very unfortunate situation that took place in Canada. And I wanted to say to everyone, you know, that I hope that brother made it home safely. I hope that he now has a different perspective and a better sense of what to do and what not to do while you're out in the world, you know? That part where the young guy went like, he did this little move and shit and got knocked the fuck out, like right there. That does not reflect him. That reflects his camp. And he might need to go get the Dream Chasers or the 305 Killers.
The 305 Killers. I'm telling you, man, Rick Ross is not, he's a correctional officer. He doesn't move like people think he does. He's not this tough guy. He stole someone's whole name. And I've said this millions of times. You know, what we need to do is really get justice for the real Rick Ross because, you know, the guy got his whole identity and idea and everything stolen from him, from his looks with the bald head and big beard to the name, to the lifestyle, everything. So, yeah, I'm going to be doing a documentary in the future about Rick Ross, the real Rick Ross versus the rapper and their lives and how, you know, they don't coincide at all. So subscribe if you're new to the channel and you want to check that out. That's going to be coming, I don't know when, probably in August, September. I am working on a Diddy $1 million hit documentary. It's coming out this month in July, as well as a few other videos. So subscribe if you haven't. Other than that, let me know what you guys think of the incident. Thankfully, nobody really got hurt too bad, but things like this happen, man. If you're going to disrespect somebody in their actual hometown, not really hometown because Drake's from Toronto, Vancouver is a little bit different, but regardless, Canada, then, you know, you're going to expect some type of pushback. At least you should hope to expect some type of pushback. Eminem. So before we get into the Tobey track, because there's some interesting bars on that track, I want to talk about Eminem's release date for his album. So he dropped the trailer for his album, The Death of Slim Shady, Cuba de Grace, or the Grasse, however you pronounce it, is dropping on July 12th, which is not this Friday, the next Friday. I will be going live that Thursday night, streaming the whole album, top to bottom, with you guys. So join me. That's going to be on the main YouTube channel, not on the podcast channel, which is this one, the Diverse Mentality main YouTube channel, as it always is when I go live. I am going to try to fix my live because I've been having like weird, laggy, jumpy issues. It's not my internet, so stop trolling me with that. I have great internet. I believe here we get 300 megabytes, maybe 600 megabytes, somewhere around there. I don't remember. But I tested it out millions of times, and it's always been good. I just don't know. Something's going on with the settings or something that... And I fixed a lot because I remember we used to have this little bubble come up. That was a thumbs up, and it would freeze the screen. And I come to find out it was a live reaction emoji that like FaceTime and the Mac cameras have, which is stupid. So I managed to shut that out, fix that. But then I was having this like jumping issue where like I'd be live on stream and then it would just jump to like the next 2-3 seconds something else, and it would be lagging basically. So I'm trying to fix that. I'm trying to figure out how to fix that. So I'm gonna do a couple test runs before next Friday, and we'll go on there live. We'll bump the album. And I can't wait. I can't wait to hear this album. It is, I believe, let me see, 19 tracks, I think, and 2 of them are already out with the Tobey and then Houdini. I could be wrong about the 19 tracks thing. Let's see. It is 20 tracks. Sorry about that. 20 tracks. That is an astronomically long-ass album, but I'm not a fan of albums going 20 tracks, but it is what it is. Let's see with this Tobey record quick. The reason why I want to see on this track is who produced it. So Eminem produced this as well. Okay. I think because with Eminem producing, I think this is going to be one of Eminem's best albums in a long time. The reason why is because I think Eminem delivers his best albums when he's the producer of his album. I mean, think about it. What do you think of Eminem as what album in your mind goes to classics, right? With Eminem. Every single time it goes to ones that he's majorly produced. So Marshall Mathers LP, I think Slim Shady LP wasn't really produced by Eminem. I think it was produced mainly by Dr. Dre. I could have that wrong. Don't attack me for this because I just don't remember. Yeah, basically mainly Dr. Dre. Now, was Eminem a producer on some of these tracks? Yeah, like Guilty Conscience, Eminem co-produced. Records like that, blah, blah, blah. Slim Shady LP was produced heavily by Eminem. Sorry, got that wrong. Bass Brothers and Eminem are the ones that mainly produced this album. Dr. Dre had his role here and there, but mainly Eminem. So most people consider Slim Shady LP, to them, a classic. Marshall Mathers LP, mainly produced by Eminem. Once again, Eminem is on like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay, so mainly not 8 tracks. Okay, so not mainly produced by Eminem. Dr. Dre kind of had more of a role in this, but I don't mind. Like Dr. Dre and Eminem, I see them as one because when they're working together, to me, I just view it as one. So, but regardless, the Eminem Show, which is Eminem's most successful commercial, like the highest successful commercial album he has, all basically produced by Eminem. There's like probably a few tracks there aren't. Then you go to Encore. I believe majority of this produced by Eminem as well. Yep. Dr. Dre had a little bit of hand in this as well. A good hand. And then you go to Relapse, which I think my favorite Eminem album, mainly produced by Eminem. Then you go to Recovery, and this is where he kind of got away from producing. This is where he decided to kind of branch out and try other producers. And this album was good. I liked Recovery. I wasn't tripping. There was, it wasn't like the best Eminem album, but it was a good album. I loved it. It wasn't like a bad album at all. I still go back to it here and there. Then you got the Marshmallows LP2, and this was a shit album, but it was mainly Rick Rubin produced. I don't know, no disrespect to Rick Rubin. I'm not a huge fan of him, so that's probably why I didn't like this album. I want to say shit album. Okay, sorry about that, but it's slightly above average. It's a 6 out of 10, if that. Maybe 5 out of 10 to me. I know other people feel differently. Whatever, it is what it is. But then you go to Revival. This was the worst album ever made by Eminem, and he produced a couple of tracks. Got a bunch of different producers like Rick Rubin again, Mr. Porter, no disrespect to him, Emily Hain, Frequency, Rick Rubin again, Alex the Kid, DJ Khalil, Rick Rubin again, Scram Jones, Rock Mafia, and Hit Boy. So horrible album. Then you got Kamikaze, which was produced by quite a few different people, but Eminem as well. Eminem has a hand on his albums for the most part, but when he collabs and does these type of things, usually doesn't go too well, in my opinion. Then you got Music to Be Murdered By, which is produced by a bunch of different people as well, with Eminem playing his role. So Eminem has always obviously had a hand in his albums, but when an album is mainly produced by Eminem, I think that's when he has the most success. So right now, I'm kind of liking where this is going. I like that Eminem has a hand so far on the 2 tracks that are out. Is Tobey that great of a track? The only thing that hinders it for me is Big Sean. I'm not a big fan of Big Sean. It has nothing to do with Big Sean. I think he can rap. He can do his thing. I'm just not into his voice, and that's it. I just can't get into his voice. It's not pleasing to my ears. Let's just say that. So that's the only thing I have against Big Sean. I'm just not a fan of his voice. I don't think he, sonically to me, is pleasing. So that kind of, when I saw him featured on the track, I was like, we'll see. I'll give it a shot. It's all right. The track is all right. I think Houdini's better, but I do like the rollout. So yeah, we'll stream on it live on July 12th, which is basically Thursday night. Friday is coming out. So I did digitally pre-order this album, so apparently we're getting a bonus track pretty soon here from that if you did that. So I did that just to support, obviously, the artists that I support, that I buy albums from, no matter what. I don't care if they release a shit album, unless they release a shit album 3 times in a row, which Eminem has avoided for me, luckily, because he had Marshmello's LP2, which I didn't like, and then Revival, which I didn't like. So I was like, listen, this is your 3rd chance. If you don't get 3 strikes and you're out, but Kamikaze came out and saved himself. So I purchased every Eminem album. I've purchased every 50 Cent album. Sorry, I'm burping here on accident. I purchased, I believe, every Kevin Gates album. I've purchased every J. Cole album. But I purchased, like, a lot of artists, I'll purchase, their albums when they come out before it even, like, and I'll buy it, not just stream. I'll literally, like, go on iTunes, pay $12.99, $15, whatever, and actually buy the album. I know that most people don't do that anymore, but it depends on the artist. Like, I'm not going to spend that money unless I really, really like the artist and they've, they're my favorites. Anyways, let's get into the track Tobey. I want to talk about, did Eminem potentially diss Jay-Z? That's what's been going on around the cycle on the internet because of some bars on the track. Now, if you don't remember, Billboard released a list a while ago about the top 50 rappers. And they had Jay-Z at the number 1 spot. And they had Eminem at, I believe, the number 5th spot. Let's go over this list here. So, yeah, they had Jay-Z at number 1, Kendrick Lamar at number 2, Nas at 3, Tupac Shakur at 4, and then Eminem at number 5. Now, also, Apple Music released their top 100 albums of all time, and they had Eminem somewhere ranking like the 80s or 70s, and then they had Jay-Z's Blueprint at like number 13, which was astronomically ridiculous. Blueprint does not have that much pull in music that they're saying. Let's just keep it blunt. Is Blueprint a great album? Yes. Does it deserve to be on that list of 100 albums? Yes. I could even argue it deserves to be top 50, right, on the list. You could argue that. But number 13 above like literally almost every single hip-hop album that's ever existed? Fuck no in a million years. I'm not going to get into that, but yeah. So when Billboard released this list, they had Eminem at number 5, with Tupac Shakur being ahead of him. Nas, Kendrick Lamar, and Jay-Z, which I don't think, shout out to Kendrick, but I don't think he should have been that high either. But hey, this is their opinion on it, right? So Eminem on the Tobey track rapped some interesting bars. And I think because of the things he said here, a lot of people pointed it towards Jay-Z, and I can see why. So let's go over what the bars are. Spitfire, bitch, I was just flying coach. Y'all thought you were sick. You were misdiagnosed. I'm dope, and you'll never have this high a dose. Now, this is where the bars, people were wondering what's going on here. Now my estate's in the building, and bitch, I done slept on more floors than the Empire State Building. Jay-Z has a song called Empire State of Mind. So people were saying because Jay-Z has a song called Empire State of Mind, and Jay-Z was number 1 on the list on the Billboard Hot 100, or not Hot 100, but Billboard's top 50 rappers list, people were speculating that Eminem was taking shots at him because of these other lines as well. So let me continue. I got so many stories, but I hate ceilings. Ain't feeling your top 5 favorite rappers. So I know they're about to be pissed at me. But this to me is a mystery. How rappers I've already ripped could be higher up on a list than me. He could be referring to the time that, he did a song with Jay-Z on Renegade. And for the most part, if you ask somebody who was the better artist on Renegade, for the most part, people will say Eminem. Now, there are people that say Jay-Z as well. I'm not saying that. But I think if you had to put in percentages, probably say 60% say Eminem, 40% Jay-Z, or maybe 70% Eminem, 30% Jay-Z. I go with Eminem, but Jay-Z's bars were astronomical. They both painted a picture from two different worlds, which I loved. So people are saying, hey, he's done a track with Jay-Z. A lot of people saying he ripped Jay-Z on that track, so maybe he's referring to Jay-Z on here. Then he said this. He said, how rappers I've already ripped could be higher up on the list than me. Yet, here I sit on your list, though, at 5, which still is fine. But just know inside, to me, that shit's hilarious. So when I get dissed, though, by a pioneer who was one of the reasons why I'm here, they tell me, should I just let that shit go and slide? Melly Mel shouldn't get no reply. Why? The man is a legend, bitch. So am I. He talks about Melly Mel about like, hey, when people shit on me about the list, because Melly Mel was talking about Eminem shouldn't be that high on the list. We've done a lot of legend. Melly Mel talked about all that stuff, and then that's why the whole battle started once again. And then they give, they basically say that it's because Eminem's white, he's on that list. That's the only reason. Which is I'll never understand that argument because there's been so many white rappers that have never been this successful as Eminem. So that argument that would make a good argument if every every white rapper was successful in hip hop. That would make a good argument. Then you could say, okay, he's only on this list because he's white. But a lot of white rappers have failed. Asher Roth came out, failed. Vanilla Ice came out, did his thing, failed in terms of music, but he's good with doing his life right now. Mac Miller was a dope white rapper that I believe could have gone really far, but ended up unfortunately passing away. Paul Wall, great rapper, never really made it to the levels of Eminem. Bubba Sparks, I like some of his tracks, great tracks here and there. They even looked at Bubba Sparks as the second version of Eminem because he was teaming up with Timbaland. So, how Eminem had Dr. Dre, Bubba Sparks had Timbaland. People were looking at him like that, but he never succeeded like Eminem. Who more white rappers, man, off the top of my head? Whatever. You get the kind of point. Most white rappers did not succeed in hip-hop. Let's just be honest here. You got Jack Harlow now, which is kind of a mix of hip-hop and pop because he's dropping these records that are just straight pop records. And then you had Mac Miller at a certain point was doing his thing, but unfortunately passed away. But in the history of white rappers, not really much out there. So that argument never made sense to me. But interesting bars, man. I think he is somewhat poking at Jay-Z here because it's not even the Empire State of Mind, the Empire State bars. It's because when he said the Empire State bars and then followed that up with I already ripped, how could rappers I've ripped be ahead of me? Meaning, how could this guy that I destroyed in a track together be ahead of me? Now, my question is, does Jay-Z listen to this and take it as a subliminal diss towards him? Because Jay-Z is the subliminal king. I felt he's kind of, and people will argue with me about this, but I feel like he's kind of ruined hip-hop with the subliminal stuff because now that's all artists do. I felt like, before Jay-Z, artists would subliminally diss, but it wouldn't be to the level that they do now. I felt like Jay-Z made that really, really cool, and then it became a thing. Now, before Jay-Z were artists subliminally dissing it, yes, they were subliminally dissing before. But after Jay-Z, it just became a whole level of subliminally dissing that I hate. I can't stand it, man. If you got a problem with somebody, just say it. And Eminem usually does that. So here, could it be a diss at Jay-Z? Yeah, but usually Eminem goes directly at something. But why would he go directly at Jay-Z? That has nothing to, it's not Jay-Z's fault. He's number one. I think he's going more at the critics saying, you guys are stupid. I ripped this guy on a track, which can still be a diss towards Jay-Z because he's saying I destroyed him on this track and yet I'm below this guy. It makes no sense. But yeah, we'll see. Will Jay-Z take this as an actual diss? I don't know. I personally, This would help. Listen, if this happens, if this battle happens, right? People are going to be like, oh, they're too old, they shouldn't battle. I think they should. Doesn't matter. I don't think about age. If you're still active in hip-hop, which Jay-Z, yeah, he hasn't released a solo album in a minute, but he's still here and there dropping tracks that a lot of people consider are really good, the feature verses that he does. People hail them as whenever he hops on a track, they're like, oh, it's the verse of the year, blah, blah, blah. So they still look at him as a top-tier artist. Eminem as well. Drops albums, still does numbers, still does momentum. He just dropped Houdini, number 2 track on Billboard Hot 100, did his thing, right? And still breaking records on streaming platforms. So they're still relevant in hip-hop. They're just more relevant to an older generation, which would still be entertaining. And this would help Eminem's career, though, more than Jay-Z's. Because Eminem hasn't had that type of battle before. He hasn't. He's battled Mariah Carey, Nick Cannon, Cannabis, which is lyrically there, but star power nowhere near there. Machine Gun Kelly is probably the closest thing where it was like, okay, there's a battle that can potentially happen that would really be big. And that's not even close to Eminem. Machine Gun Kelly's like nowhere near Eminem. So I think Eminem, this would be something that Eminem should. Maybe this Drake and Kendrick thing sparked Eminem to try and get a competition going with Jay-Z. I think that would be beautiful. I would think that would be one of the best battles ever. And I wouldn't get violent. These two are too old, too mature to have that happen. But yeah, let me know what you guys think. Do you guys think it was actual diss towards Jay-Z? And will Jay-Z, maybe in a feature verse or something, respond? Ironically, the Tobey track is 4 minutes and 44 seconds long. Which, obviously, if you guys remember, Jay-Z's last solo album was 444. So maybe it's, that's the kind of troll in Eminem's thing. But I don't know. Yeah, we'll see. I would love for a battle to happen off this. That would be the greatest thing, I think, in hip-hop. I think it would be better than Drake and Kendrick Lamar. I'm not even going to lie to y'all, man. Eminem and Jay-Z just got, like, levels that... And they just have bigger audiences. Actually, I don't know. Eminem does. Obviously, he's the biggest selling rapper, period. But Jay-Z, you could argue he's about as big as... I don't know. Yeah, I'm not going to fucking guess on that. But, yeah, let me know what you guys think on that. I'm really, really curious to see what happens moving forward. Billboard Hot 100, let's get into it. Speaking of the charts and list, Post Malone and Morgan Wallen are number 1 yet again at I Had Some Help. Last week they were number 2. They went back up to number 1. A bar song, Tipsy Shaboozey, is number 2. That song's climbing up. Kendrick Lamar, Not Like Us, climbed up from number 6 to number 3, probably because of all the hype from the show. And when the music video drops, which like I said, there's previews of it, it's probably going to go back to number 1, maybe. We'll see. Espresso, Sabrina Carpenter, number 4. Please, 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 Sabrina Carpenter, number 5. $1 Million Baby, Tommy Richmond, number 6. Too Sweet, Hosier, number 7. Beautiful Things, Benson Bone, number 8. Lose Control, Teddy Swims, number 9. And Birds of a Feather, Billie Eilish, number 10. Let's go down the list. Like That, feature Metro Boomin, Kendrick Lamar, number 14. Eminem, Houdini, number 16. That's fallen off the charts pretty quickly. Or not really, really quickly, but, it's getting there. Its peak position was 2, and it's 4 weeks on the chart. It's gone down to number 12, so we'll see what happens with that. Whiskey, Moneybagg Yo, Morgan Wallen. Damn, Moneybagg Yo is about to have a hit record, number 21. That's pretty good for him, man. Shit. Shout out to Moneybagg Yo. Wanna Be Glorilla, Megan Thee Stallion, number 26. Glorilla, Yeah Glow, number 32. Ben for Ben, Central C and Lil Baby, number 39. Get It Sexy, Sexy Red, number 42. Euphoria, Kendrick Lamar, number 44. That went up. That used to be 52, up to number 44. TGIF, Glorilla, number 47. This song's been previewing on TikTok for so long. It's 7 p.m. Friday, blah, 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 whatever the record is. Nice track. So shout out to Glorilla, debuted at number 47. Good numbers. Type Shit, Future, Metro Boomin, Travis Scott, Playboi Carti, number 55. 101 Gunna, number 56. Parking Lot, Mustard, Travis Scott, number 57, debut. Going down the list. Let's see. Sexy Red and Drake, You My Everything, number 67. Yeah, that's it for the list. And that's it for today's episode of the Diverse Mentality Podcast. As always, I appreciate you guys. This show is powered by the one and only Golden Eagle Energy Drink. DrinkGoldenEagle.com/DMP to get your drinks. They sponsored all season 4 of the podcast, so please show them love. That's DrinkGoldenEagle.com/DMP. Of course, stream at Spotify, YouTube, podcasts, Deezer, all that. Have an amazing night, day, whenever you listen to this, and peace.